How's it going, everybody? I'm your host, the Carolina Collector. Before I begin, I want to say thank you so much to my new subscribers, my old subscribers, supporters, viewers, fellow content creators, friends, family, one and all, my eBay customers. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for supporting this channel. I deeply, deeply appreciate it. If you are interested in any loose sports cards, graded slabs, and from time to time various other items, check out my eBay store, the Carolina Collector 001. The link is always in the description box of every single video that I upload here on YouTube. It is greatly appreciated. I know I talked about this in my video this morning, and yes, I did sleep. This is the latest order. I actually have the label printed out. I'm going to get this out today, hopefully. The weather looks kind of so we'll see what happens. I just don't like mailing out people's orders, especially when the weather looks bad, because I don't want the cards to come damaged or water soaked or anything like that. So, but I do have a big stack of cards that I definitely want to list today on eBay for sure. So keep a lookout for that. There's 191 listings at the time I'm making this video. And I like to keep those listings getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And don't be afraid to negotiate with me or ask questions or what have you. What I've been doing lately is that when I comp my orders, before I get into this conversation here, when I comp my orders, some of you who are regular customers, I will offer 10% discounts on. If you are a watcher of a particular card, some people jump on the opportunity, some people don't. That's fine. But if I see that it's mostly regular customers watching cards, I will offer a 10% discount for those watchers. And I really, really appreciate that because, of course, it helps. Except for certain cards, like 99-cent cards. I'm like, come on, guys, give me a break. But I'm talking like the big boy cards that are out there. I got a couple autographs that are like almost $30 or more that I listed yesterday. So anyway, check it out. It helps to support the channel and whatnot. I already talked about a lot of the adjustments I've made with my shipping prices and what have you. So, but again, of course, my appreciation for that. So let's get back into some sports card hobby talk, because Mr. Jeff Wilson has definitely rattled everybody's cage with his nonsensical take about what you should and shouldn't do with the hobby, chasing parallels, junk wax, error cards, and blah, blah, blah. He is not the end-all, be-all, of the sports card hobby. And I just watched Sports Card Dad, and I left a little comment that I think somebody dropped the lip balm, if you catch my drift, with certain content creators calling Jeff Wilson the GOAT of the hobby. I don't know about that, ladies and gentlemen, but that is definitely, top tier, first class BS right there when you're calling somebody the GOAT, especially with his nonsensical takes. But I want to focus on one particular topic that I don't think most of you understand, or especially the normies out there may not understand. We are going to tear into box breaking. Now, for the record, I am an official LLC, the Carolina Collector. You can look me up online. My LLC is public. And I do have a few business accounts here and there with like Best Buy and, electronic shops, local electronic shops and stuff like that, because obviously being on YouTube, if I can get better equipment to use for my videos, of course, I'm going to jump on it. So I've applied for, one or two places here and there. And being an LLC, you get, for example, like with Best Buy and most other outlets, like Target, for example, when it comes to release day of flagship, or if you're just getting like Series 2 or what have you, or Bowman, a lot of these websites only allow you like three boxes in any single order plus shipping. With Best Buy, I can get 15 boxes of, let's just say, update hanger from last year, and even Series 1, which I've already done here on the channel. I can get a ton of hangers if I chose to, and get them 15 at a time, because I am a business account, or a business owner, so to speak. So I'm allowed to buy more than what the public normally would be able to get on their own from these websites, is what I'm saying. But there is one aspect, unfortunately, when it comes to Topps and Fanatics that maybe most of you don't realize, and I have some theories and thoughts about this. And when I saw this, maybe many of you may have missed this. Everybody goes after breakers, and so do I. Now, you have a few rebels that are out there. I mentioned Western New York Cards, who basically does his own thing. He's not like your traditional breaker. You know, he's a collector and he's also a seller because he needs to bolster his own collection. He does stuff on Whatnot now. Great guy. He speaks up every once in a while when there's enough BS floating around the cardosphere, so to speak. And he will come out and he'll say what he thinks. But in general, he's not like your typical box breaker. You know, he basically does everything, you know, I guess through revenue that he gets from Whatnot and his own card sales. It's very similar to like what I do. I generate my sales or generate revenue through my own card sales, and I put that back into the hobby. Right now, obviously, I'm taking a break to recover some, you know, financial, or to recover my finances, I should say, excuse me. So you got to learn when to stop, ladies and gentlemen. But we're going to get into breaking because this is not a conclusive video. It's just the evidence is circumstantial as to why breakers seem to get priority from tops and fanatics. Excuse me, by the way. Because this happened to me last year, if you watched the channel, where I tried to buy 2 boxes of 2024 Chrome Sapphire. The money was withdrawn out of my account. My order was completed. And then all of a sudden, within a half hour, I checked my bank account just to make sure I got them. The money was reversed and put back into my account. And I didn't get my order. And oh, believe me, I messaged Tops within minutes. Like, what the hell is this? With screen captures from my own bank account. Like, what happened here? And I believe, and this is my opinion with this, breakers, in fact, do get priority over the rest of us, you know, little people. So, for those that don't know, this comes from Topps Ripped. I'm going to show you this printout right here. You can pause it as you wish, and you can read this yourself. This is basically an explanation of what breaking is. And the second page, I mean, there was a lot of other stuff that was in here for each product that they sell or that's available or what have you. But, you know, that's the final page from the printout that I have here, or from the website. I didn't want to print out unnecessary paperwork to waste ink. But you can always look on Topps Ripped for this. It's called the Home of the Hobby. So what is breaking? Let's define this according to Topps Ripped. Breaking refers to the practice of opening multiple boxes or cases of a product at the same time and then distributing the cards to a larger group of paying customers. Breakers sell slots to their breaks and customers receive a defined portion of the open product. In some cases, customers will pay for a specific team, which entitles them to any card belonging to a player from that team. In other cases, the customer is simply given a randomized allotment. Breaking has become a major business within the trading card world. Breakers operate websites and often stream their breaks on social media platforms. For high-stakes breaks, it isn't uncommon for thousands of people to tune in and watch, even though they aren't paying for a slot or receiving any cards. But it generates revenue for that streamer, especially if their channel's monetized. So essentially, it's lottery. And in fact, in theory, these people are small-time distributors of these products. How do I know that? Because this is an application for breakers. Direct breaker program. Excuse me, I can't read backwards. And when I film this, everything's in reverse, so forgive me. So I'm looking at it as if, and I'm not making fun of dyslexic people, it's just this is backwards. So there it is, folks. An application for professional breakers. Look at it yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, breakers get priority. That's a fact. Allegedly. So here's the application itself. And you can fill this out online. You could probably mail it to Topps or Fanatics, but I'll get into all of this. But like I said, you can pause the video with each page or each section of this printout and read it yourself, or you can find it on the Topps website. And there it is, Fanatics Collectibles. Breakers essentially, in theory and allegedly, turn themselves into employees or distributors of these products. This channel, I've applied for monetization. Whether or not it gets monetized, I don't know, but I'm already seeing ads run on my channel with some of my videos. I haven't seen a dime of that as of yet. But, I know I'll never see that revenue, of course. But a lot of these guys get thousands of subscribers with hundreds of views, especially when they're doing live breaks and stuff like that. And they do case after case after case. You know what it is to buy a case of baseball cards? Like when I bought all of those Series 1 hangers and all the update hangers, there's 15 boxes in them cases. Them cases can go for $300 to $400. And now if you're getting premium product, you're talking way more. Try to imagine to get a case of hobby boxes or jumbo boxes. They can run in the thousands. So Topps and Fanatics probably look at these guys and gals and say, hey, you know what? If we offer you these huge discounts, if you're a professional breaker and essentially become a distributor for us, I'm sure they get massive discounts for that. Again, as an LLC, I get certain discounts from certain stores. Again, the before mentioned Best Buy. When everybody can buy, 3 boxes at a time, I can get 15 at a time if I want. I can still get Topps Update in Series 1 right now if I chose to. But, again, I need a timeout because, I'm not one of them guys that's going to spend me broke. Right now, I need to, recoup some losses. But, when you go through this thing, essentially, and I'm going to read it to you, the Topps Breaker application form. Now, the English is a little screwed up on here, so thank you for expressing interest in the becoming a direct breaker. So the English is off. In order to qualify, you must have an existing breaking business that is streaming a minimum of 20 hours per day, which is part-time hours, going into full-time hours. And a lot of these guys do that. The Breaker Direct team will review this application. Again, it says applications, but the English is incorrect. The Breaker Direct team will review this applications on a monthly basis. God, you got to love the English language when it's screwed up. That's like people saying often. It's pronounced often. The T is silent, just so you know. Please be advised that access to the program is limited in nature, and there could potentially be a delay in the Breaker Direct team accepting new accounts due to limited availability of open spots on our roster. In other words, we may not have enough supply to go around for all of you. That's essentially what that means. Contact first name, contact last name, contact email, business name, business phone. I could apply for this if I want to, but I'm not a traditional breaker. I don't want people getting into the lottery. That's why I list everything on eBay, to give you guys and gals a chance to basically decide what you want to pay for these things. Unless of course I list buy it nows based on, what I see as far as the market value is concerned of things. And I try to make it as cheap as possible for everybody. You all know that if you've bought with me before. How long have you been operating a breaking business? How many hours a week do you currently break? What platforms do you currently break on? Mostly YouTube and whatnot, I'm sure. This one's blacked out for whatever reason. But do you have any pre-existing exclusivity agreements with any breaking platforms? I guess that would be Panini and Donruss that they're referring to, or TCG or Pokemon. Which platforms do you have exclusivity agreements with? Please provide details. What social media platforms do you have a presence on, and how big is your following? This is essentially a job application. This is what this is. What is the mix of product categories you currently break? Example, MLB, NFL, NHL, NBA, NIL, soccer, racing, combat, entertainment, other. What was your 2023 total revenue? What was your 2024 total revenue? Where are you currently getting your breaking product from? What are your plans in regards to scaling your business? What is the current pain point you are experiencing? Use the final space to tell us anything else you feel will separate you from other breakers today. It's a job application by Fanatics. These people are essentially distributors and employees of Fanatics. It's a fact. They do get priority, yes. Especially when it comes to release day. I've tried it last year. I've tried it a couple times last year and nearly failed with a lot of the stuff I ordered last year, especially jumbo and hobby boxes and stuff like that. So if you don't think breakers, if you don't believe that breakers don't get priority, then you are clearly clueless, because this is clearly, in my opinion, a job application. And I'm sure they get massive, massive discounts. If they're not getting paid directly or receiving free product, then guess what? You're blind to what they do and who they are. Now, I'm not saying every breaker is bad, but what I am saying is that, yes, they do get priority. Whatever discounts or whatever deal they sign with this, you're shit out of luck. It happened with me last year with Topps Chrome Sapphire. I paid $900 for product. I had the product. It was paid for. The money was in my bank account. And then that money was sent right back to my bank account. Thus, I had the product literally taken out of my hand by some douchebag who essentially is a gambler. I'll take that back, please. Imagine if that was out in the wild. Yep, I would. But that is the God's honest truth about box breakers or breakers of any kind here on YouTube. I'm sure that when these guys are opening up thousands of dollars of product, plus they got thousands and thousands and thousands of subscribers and they're getting revenue from YouTube, and then they're doing their precious little box breaks, and then, oh, we got this for Johnny. Here's a silver pack of, Mojo or Mega Box, and here's another pack for, Johnny Dumbass and, Nicky Numbnuts and, guys like that. Well, they're essentially employees of Fanatics and Topps, or small-time distributors, basically engaging in gambling. I'm sure they get distribution deals. I'm sure they get discounts. I'm sure they get free product. I wouldn't doubt it. And this is where the hobby completely falls apart. Don't let people like Jeff Wilson or anybody else try to fool you that, breaking is such a great thing, when clearly it is not. You, the little people who don't participate in this nonsense, especially if you're a small fries guy like me, guess what? It's a business. And there's the proof. They suck. If ever on release day you try to get something and you have that taken out of your bank account and they refund your money instantly and you don't get your product that you ordered for, blame the breakers. They do get priority. That's a fact. They are, in essence, employees of Topps and Fanatics. In some form. Allegedly. I'm your host, the Carolina Collector. Take care, God bless, stay safe, and I will see you all very soon.